The message arrived on a quiet Tuesday morning. At first, the strange signal puzzled the technicians at the Global Space Communications Center in Nevada. It wasn't random noise. It wasn't a glitch. It was a perfect, repeating pattern coming from somewhere beyond Jupiter. Within hours, every major government knew. Within days, so did the public. The message was simple. We are coming. We mean no harm. Prepare one representative. Captain Ethan Miller sat in General Harris's office, staring at the official letter in his hands. Of all the pilots, scientists, and diplomats on Earth, they had chosen him to meet the aliens. Why me? Ethan asked, his voice barely above a whisper. General Harris leaned back in his chair. Good question. The selection committee reviewed thousands of candidates. Your combination of military training, scientific education, and diplomatic experience put you at the top of the list. Plus, you kept your cool during that Mars colony crisis last year. Ethan nodded slowly. The Mars incident had tested him in ways he never imagined. 43 colonists trapped after a dust storm damaged their oxygen systems. Everyone thought they were dead until Ethan figured out a rescue plan that worked. When do I leave? Ethan asked. 3 days. Their ship will dock at the International Space Station. Pack light. 3 days to prepare for humanity's first official alien contact. Ethan spent most of that time studying the message and its translations, reviewing first contact protocols, and saying goodbye to his few friends and his dog, Max. On the morning of the meeting, Ethan sat alone in the shuttle heading for the space station. His heart raced as the Earth grew smaller below him. The alien ship was already there when he arrived. It was nothing like the flying saucers in old movies. This vessel looked like flowing water frozen in space, shimmering in blues and greens that seemed to move even when the ship was still. Captain Miller, said Commander Laura Patul as she greeted him at the airlock. They arrived an hour ago. Only one of them has come aboard. It's waiting in the conference room. Ethan asked. You'll see, Laura said. The conference room door slid open. Inside stood a tall figure with skin the color of pale jade. Its 4 arms were thin but strong-looking. Its face had no nose, just breathing slits, and large eyes that reflected light like opals. I am Talbora, it said in perfect English, voice of the Viridians and messenger of the Galactic Council. Ethan stepped forward. Captain Ethan Miller, representing Earth. Talora made a gesture with its lower right hand. The honor is mine, Captain. My people have watched yours for many centuries. I have personally observed your television programs for 40 years. I especially enjoyed your baseball before the new Tokyo team scandal. Despite his nervousness, Ethan smiled. You're a baseball fan. The mix of strategy and physical skill is fascinating. But we have serious matters to discuss. Talora's voice grew softer. Captain Miller, I bring an official summons from the Galactic Council. You must come with me to present humanity's case. Our case? What case? The Council governs most intelligent species in this galaxy. When a new species reaches certain technological milestones, they are evaluated. Evaluated for what? Talora hesitated. For membership, for restrictions, for compatibility with galactic civilization. Something in the alien's tone worried Ethan. This sounds like a trial. Officially, it is a hearing. But yes, in many ways, it is a trial. Several council species believe humans are too dangerous, too unpredictable to be allowed free development. Ethan felt a chill run through him. And if they decide against us? Let us hope they do not. Talora looked around to ensure they were alone, then leaned closer. I should not tell you this, but my species favors humanity. We see your potential. Others see only threat. You must come with me to the council station at the galaxy's core. Earth's future depends on your words there. When do we leave? Now. Talora stood straighter. Pack nothing. The council provides all necessities. Ethan took a deep breath. Everything in his life had led to this moment. One man, representing 8 billion people, and thousands of years of human history. "I'm ready," he said, hoping it was true. As they walked toward the Viridian ship, Ethan looked back at the blue planet hanging in the blackness of space. He wondered if he would ever see it again. The journey to the Galactic Council station took 3 weeks by Earth time. Ethan spent those days learning about alien cultures from Talora. The Viridian ship moved through space in ways that defied Earth physics, jumping vast distances in moments before cruising at normal speeds again. "We are approaching the Council station," Talora announced as they entered a strange star system. The center held not a sun but a dense, spinning neutron star that glowed blue-white. Ethan's mouth fell open as the station came into view. It was a massive ring structure orbiting the neutron star, drawing power from its radiation. Thousands of ships of different designs moved around it like bees around a hive. "How many species are on the Council?" Ethan asked. 42 have full membership. Another 67 have observer status. You will meet representatives from most of them during your stay. The Viridian ship docked at one of the hundreds of ports along the station's outer edge. As Ethan followed Talora through the airlock, he noticed the air smelled different, clean but with a hint of something like cinnamon. "The common areas use a neutral atmosphere mix," Talora explained. "Each species has quarters with their preferred environment." They entered a vast open area with a ceiling so high Ethan couldn't see it clearly. Aliens of all shapes and sizes moved about. Some walked on legs like humans. Others slithered, floated, or rolled. Ethan saw beings made of what looked like living crystal, others that seemed to be made of pure light, and some that changed shape as they moved. "Try not to stare," Talora whispered. "Many find it rude." Ethan nodded, forcing his eyes forward. "Where are we going?" "To meet your assistant and prepare for tomorrow's hearing." They entered a quieter area that Talora called the human quarter. It was designed to mimic Earth conditions, with normal gravity and familiar-looking plants. A woman waited for them there. She had short brown hair and wore a simple blue uniform. She smiled when she saw Ethan. "Captain Miller, I'm Dr. Amanda Lewis. I've been living here for 3 years as part of a secret exchange program." Ethan shook her hand, relieved to see another human. "There's been a secret program all this time." Amanda nodded. "Very small. Just a dozen of us studying alien cultures. We didn't know about the Council's official hearing until recently." "I must attend to Council matters," Talora said. "Dr. Lewis will help you prepare. Your quarters are ready, and I will return tomorrow to escort you to the hearing." After Talora left, Amanda showed Ethan to his rooms. They were comfortable but plain, with a bed, desk, and what looked like a normal bathroom. "The situation is worse than they told you," Amanda said once they were alone. "Several Council species want Earth quarantined. They think we're dangerous." "Why?" "We've barely left our solar system." "That's part of it. Most species take thousands of years to develop, from basic tools to space travel. We did it in a few centuries. It scares them." Amanda brought up a display showing different alien worlds. "But there's more. The Council is controlled by the Axioni." The display showed tall, thin aliens with silvery skin and large, dark eyes. They had 6-fingered hands and moved with fluid grace. The Axioni are telepaths. They consider themselves the most advanced species in the galaxy and see themselves as the rightful leaders of all others. They've been pushing anti-human policies for decades. "How do you know all this?" Ethan asked. "I've made friends here. Not everyone agrees with the Axioni. Many species respect humans, even admire us." Amanda lowered her voice. "I found evidence the Axioni are manipulating the proceedings against us. They'd been watching Earth for centuries, not decades like the others." Ethan felt a chill. "What do they want?" "I don't know yet, but tomorrow you'll meet their supreme representative, Nexer. Be careful what you think around him. Axioni can't read minds completely, but they sense emotions and surface thoughts." Ethan looked out the window at the strange alien station. Somewhere in this massive structure, beings he'd never met were deciding Earth's fate. "Get some rest," Amanda said. Tomorrow will be the most important day in human history. Ethan slept poorly that night. Strange dreams of silver-skinned aliens watching him filled his mind. He woke early and found Amanda waiting with a simple breakfast that tasted almost like oatmeal. "Ready?" she asked. Ethan nodded. "As ready as I'll ever be." Talora arrived to escort them to the council chamber. They walked through long hallways filled with aliens of all kinds. Some looked at Ethan with what seemed like curiosity. Others moved away as if he carried a disease. The council chamber was enormous. A circular room with rising tiers of seats surrounded a central platform. Above it all hung a model of the galaxy, slowly turning and glittering with countless stars. "The central platform is where you will stand," Talora explained. "The council members sit according to their status. The inner ring holds the most powerful species." Ethan noticed the Accioni already seated in that inner ring. Their silver skin reflected the light from the galaxy model. They sat perfectly still, watching him with large dark eyes that never seemed to blink. "The hearing begins in 10 minutes, Talora said. "I must take my place with the other Viridians. Good luck, Captain Miller." Amanda squeezed Ethan's arm. "Remember, stay calm. Don't let them provoke you." A loud tone sounded 3 times. The chamber grew quiet as a tall alien with blue-gray skin and 4 arms entered. It wore elaborate robes with patterns that seemed to move on their own. "That's the Arbiter," Amanda whispered. "He runs the hearing." The Arbiter took a position on a raised platform and spoke in a deep voice that seemed to come from everywhere at once. "This council is now in session. Today we consider the case of species designation 37,291, locally known as humans from the planet Earth in the Orion Arm Spiral Sector." Ethan was directed to stand on the central platform. Bright lights shone down on him from above. "Captain Ethan Miller, you stand before the Galactic Council as representative of humanity," the Arbiter continued. "You will hear the concerns raised by council members and may respond after all charges are presented." Charges. The word made Ethan's heart sink. This really was a trial. The Accioni Supreme Representative, Nexer, stood. He was taller than the others, with skin that looked like polished metal. "Honored council members," Nexer began, his voice smooth and cold. "The evidence against allowing unrestricted human development is clear. First, their history of warfare. Unlike most species who outgrow violence as they advance, humans continue to fight among themselves, even as they reach for the stars." Images appeared in the air around Ethan. Wars, battles, weapons testing. Second, their rate of technological advancement is dangerously accelerated. What took most species millennia, they achieved in centuries. More images showed human technology evolving rapidly from simple tools to spacecraft. Third, their resource consumption exceeds sustainable levels on their own world. Imagine such behavior spreading to other systems. The images now showed pollution, deforestation, and mining operations. Finally, and most concerning, their genetic unpredictability. Human DNA shows mutation rates far above galactic norms, creating a species that adapts too quickly to new challenges. DNA strands appeared, rotating slowly with certain sections highlighted. For these reasons, the Accioni propose quarantine status for Earth, Nexer concluded. A containment shield will surround their solar system, preventing space travel beyond their local planets. In exchange, we will provide limited knowledge and protection. This arrangement will continue until humans prove they have evolved beyond their dangerous tendencies. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Some aliens nodded in agreement. Others looked uncertain. The Arbiter turned to Ethan. "The Council has heard the concerns. You and your advisor have 3 cycles to prepare humanity's defense. This hearing will reconvene at that time." As Ethan left the platform, he caught Nexer watching him with those unblinking eyes. For just a moment, he thought he saw the Accioni's lips curve into what might have been a smile. "This isn't about quarantine," Amanda whispered as they left. "Something else is happening here." We need to find out what the Accioni really want. Ethan and Amanda spent the next day in the Council's vast archives. The room was filled with glowing data terminals that responded to touch. Alien writing scrolled across screens as Amanda searched through records. "I need to show you something," she said, leading Ethan to a quiet corner. "Look at these files. I found them hidden in old records." The screen showed images of planets with strange shield-like bubbles around them. "These are other species the Council contained for safety reasons," Amanda explained. 7 different worlds over the past 10,000 years. Ethan studied the images. What happened to them? Amanda's face grew serious. "That's what bothers me. All 7 species went extinct within 500 years of containment." Extinct? How? The records cite natural decline or internal conflicts, but the pattern is too consistent. Amanda pulled up more files. "And look at this. Secret research projects initiated by the Accioni, all focused on the contained species." Ethan read through the documents. Though the language was technical, he understood enough. They were studying these species, taking samples. Yes, but why? Amanda wondered. "And there's something else. I found classified records showing the Accioni have been collecting human genetic material for at least 300 years. 300 years. That's before we even had electricity." A noise made them both turn. A small alien with yellow skin and large eyes stood nearby. It had 6 legs and what looked like feathery antennae. "You seek dangerous knowledge," it said in a whispered voice. Ethan tensed, ready to defend himself. But Amanda relaxed. "Kelnar, you startled us." "My apologies, Dr. Lewis." The alien moved closer. "I am Council Archivist Kelnar," it explained to Ethan. "Your friend has been my student in archive methods." "Can we trust him?" Ethan asked Amanda. "Her," Amanda corrected. "And yes, Kelnar's people, the Vish, have their own reasons to distrust the Accioni." Kelnar looked around nervously. "What you seek is in the sealed records. Few have access." "But you do?" Ethan asked. The archivist's antennae quivered. "I should not. But yes, follow me." Kelnar led them through hidden passageways to a secure area deep in the archives. Using a special code, she opened a locked room filled with old-style physical records, actual books and storage devices. "Here," Kelnar said, pulling out a small crystal cube. "This contains the Accioni Supreme Council's private research on humans. It is forbidden knowledge." Amanda inserted the cube into a reader. Images and text appeared, showing human DNA strands with certain sections highlighted. "I don't understand all this," Ethan said. "What does it mean?" "It means the Accioni have been studying human genetics for centuries," Kelnar explained. "They are particularly interested in sections of your DNA that no other known species possesses." Amanda studied the data. "These markers, they're connected to our adaptability, our ability to survive in different environments." "Indeed," Kelnar said, "but also to something the Accioni fear greatly, something they thought was only theoretical until they found humans." "What?" Ethan asked. "The potential for mental evolution, for developing abilities similar to their own." Amanda's eyes widened. "Telepathy. And more," Kelnar said. "Your species has genetic markers that suggest, under the right conditions, humans could develop abilities that even the Accioni do not possess. This is why they fear you." Ethan thought back to the hearing. "That's why Nexer mentioned our genetic unpredictability as a danger." "We need to find more evidence," Amanda said. "The Council won't take the word of 2 humans against the Accioni." Kelnar's antennae drooped slightly. "There is more. The containment shield they propose is not just to keep humans in. According to these records, it can be adjusted to affect planetary conditions, weather, atmosphere, tectonic stability. They could kill us all without firing a shot," Ethan realized. "Just make Earth slowly uninhabitable." "We have to stop them," Amanda said. We need allies on the council. Kellner looked frightened but determined. There are others who question Axioni leadership. I will arrange meetings, but we must be careful. The Axioni have eyes everywhere. The day of the defense came quickly. Over the previous cycle, Ethan and Amanda had met secretly with representatives from 7 different species who shared concerns about Axioni control of the council. Each provided pieces of information about previous containments and their tragic outcomes. Ethan stood on the central platform again, feeling the weight of billions of human lives on his shoulders. Amanda stood beside him as his official advisor. The chamber was even more crowded than before, with curious representatives from many worlds coming to watch. The Arbiter called the session to order. Captain Ethan Miller will now present the human response to the proposed containment. Ethan stepped forward, heart pounding but voice steady. Honored council members, I stand before you not to deny humanity's flaws. We have fought wars. We have damaged our planet. We have made mistakes. He paused, looking around the chamber. But what species hasn't? The measure of intelligence isn't avoiding errors, it's learning from them. Images appeared above him, showing human achievements, medical breakthroughs, acts of heroism, environmental restoration projects, peaceful cooperation. Humans are young compared to most council species. We're still growing, still learning. But look at what we've already accomplished. In just the last century, we've cured diseases that plagued us for millennia. We've begun healing the damage to our planet. We've reached beyond our world not to conquer, but to explore. Ethan noticed some council members leaning forward, listening carefully. The Axioni claim our unpredictability makes us dangerous. I say it makes us valuable. When faced with problems, humans find solutions others might miss because we think differently. Now came the risky part. Ethan nodded to Amanda, who activated the evidence they had gathered. But there's something else the council should know before voting. New images appeared, showing the fates of previously contained species. Every civilization placed under containment has gone extinct, not due to natural causes, but due to controlled environmental degradation. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Some representatives looked shocked. The Axioni delegation sat motionless, their faces unreadable. The containment shield proposed for Earth isn't just for quarantine. It's designed to slowly make our planet uninhabitable. Ethan displayed the technical data Kellner had provided. And there's more. The Axioni have been secretly studying human genetics for centuries. The final evidence appeared. Records of Axioni genetic research, collection missions to Earth dating back hundreds of years, and their findings about unique human DNA. The real reason for containing us isn't fear of human aggression. It's fear of human potential. According to the Axioni's own research, humans have genetic markers unlike any other known species, markers that suggest we might someday develop mental abilities that rival or exceed their own. The chamber erupted in chaos. Representatives shouted questions and objections. The Arbiter called repeatedly for order. Nexer stood, his silver face now showing clear anger. These are fabrications, stolen and misinterpreted data presented by a primitive species desperate to avoid necessary control. The data speaks for itself, Ethan replied calmly. I ask the Council to consider, is humanity truly the threat here? Or is it those who would eliminate an entire species to protect their own power? The Arbiter finally restored order. This is most disturbing. The Council will need time to verify these claims. There is no time, Nexer said sharply. The human presence manipulated evidence to delay necessary action. I call for an immediate vote on containment. Several representatives objected, but the Axioni had many allies. After heated debate, the Arbiter reluctantly agreed to proceed with the vote. Ethan and Amanda watched anxiously as each species registered their decision. Many abstained, uncertain what to believe. But the Axioni bloc held enough power to push the measure through by a narrow margin. The vote is complete, the Arbiter announced. By Council law, Earth will be contained within 30 planetary rotations. This session is concluded. As they left the chamber, Amanda whispered to Ethan, "This isn't over. We've planted seeds of doubt. Now we need to get back to Earth and prepare." Ethan nodded grimly. The Accioni just made the biggest mistake in galactic history. They're about to learn why you should never corner a human. Ethan and Amanda packed quickly, planning to leave on the next available transport back to Earth. They needed to warn humanity about the coming containment and prepare defenses. "Captain Miller, a moment please." Talora appeared at their quarters just as they finished gathering their few belongings. "We're in a hurry, Talora," Ethan said. "I understand, but you should not take the main transport." The Viridian looked around nervously. "Meet me at Docking Bay 47 in 1 hour. Come alone and tell no one." After Talora left, Amanda frowned. It could be a trap. "Maybe," Ethan agreed. "But Talora has helped us so far. I'll go see what this is about. You take the main transport as planned." "No way," Amanda said firmly. "We stick together." 1 hour later, they approached Docking Bay 47 cautiously. It was in a quiet section of the station, away from the busy main areas. The door slid open as they approached. Inside waited Talora, along with representatives from 6 other species, a fish-like Kelnar, 2 furry beings Ethan recognized as Monteri, a floating gas-filled creature called a Phlox, and 2 others he didn't know. "Captain Miller, Dr. Lewis," Talora said. "These are leaders of what we call the Free Alliance. We oppose Accioni control of the Council." "You're rebels," Amanda realized. The Phlox drifted forward, its voice coming from a translator device. "We prefer reformers. The Council once stood for cooperation and peace. The Accioni have corrupted it." Talora nodded. "What you don't know is that the Accioni are not planning a simple quarantine. We have intercepted their private communications. They intend to destabilize Earth's ecosystem over 3 of your generations, resulting in humanity's extinction." Ethan felt cold anger rising in him. "Why?" "Just because we might someday develop mental abilities." "That is part of it," said one of the unknown aliens, a tall being with gray skin and 6 eyes. "I am Zora of the Elith. My people were once telepathic like the Accioni, but not as powerful. They forced us to take treatments that removed our abilities. The Accioni believe they alone should possess such gifts," Talora explained. "A human with telepathic potential would threaten their control." "But there's more," added the Vish archivist. "Human adaptability makes your species uniquely suited to live on many different worlds. The Accioni fear you would spread too quickly through the galaxy if not contained." "We need to get back to Earth," Ethan said urgently. "We need to warn our people." "That is why we are here," Talora replied. "We have a ship ready. It's faster than normal transports and can avoid Council detection." As they spoke, alarms suddenly blared throughout the station. A station-wide announcement followed. "Security alert. Detain humans Ethan Miller and Amanda Lewis. Report any sightings immediately." "They know," Amanda said. "We must hurry," Talora urged. "Our ship is ready." They rushed through the docking bay to a sleek vessel unlike any Ethan had seen before. As they boarded, station security forces appeared at the far end of the bay. "Stop them," shouted a security officer. Behind the officer stood Nexer, his silver face cold with fury. The rebels quickly sealed the ship. Talora took the pilot's position and started the engines. "They're blocking the bay doors," one of the Monteri warned. "Hold on," Talora said. The ship hummed with power and shot forward, crashing through the partially closed bay doors and out into space. Immediately, Council security vessels gave chase. Weapons fire flashed past them. "We have the evidence of their plans," Amanda said, clutching a data crystal. "If we can reach Earth." More weapons fire rocked the ship. One of the engines took a direct hit. "We cannot outrun them with damaged engines," Talora said grimly. The Phlox moved to a control panel. "We will hold them off. You and the humans take the escape pod. It's small enough to avoid detection." "That's suicide," Ethan protested. Zora placed a six-fingered hand on Ethan's shoulder. Some sacrifices are necessary. What happens to humanity will affect the whole galaxy. You must reach Earth with the warning. More explosions rocked the ship. Systems began to fail. Go now, Talora urged, pointing to the escape pod. We will cover your escape. With heavy hearts, Ethan and Amanda entered the small pod. As it launched away from the main ship, they watched through the viewport as their allies turned to face the Council fleet, buying them precious time with their lives. The escape pod raced through space, its small engines pushed to their limits. Through the rear viewport, Ethan and Amanda watched as the rebel ship exploded in a flash of light, taking several Council vessels with it. They gave their lives for us, Amanda said softly. For Earth. Ethan nodded, his jaw tight. We can't let their sacrifice be in vain. The journey back to Earth took 12 days in the cramped pod. They survived on emergency rations and took turns sleeping in the single bunk. During that time, they studied the evidence on the data crystal, learning more about the Accioni plans and the true nature of the containment shield. When they finally reached the edge of the solar system, they found Council scout ships already there, mapping the area for the coming quarantine. We need to avoid them, Ethan said, adjusting their course to use Jupiter's gravity as cover, and warn Earth as soon as possible. Amanda set up the pod's communication system. I'm sending the data to every major space agency on Earth. Even if we don't make it, they'll have the information. When they reached Earth orbit, military satellites immediately locked onto the unknown craft. Warning messages flooded their communication system. This is Captain Ethan Miller of the Earth Space Defense Force, Ethan transmitted. Authorization code Sierra 974 Delta. We are returning with critical information about an alien threat. Request immediate landing clearance. After tense minutes of verification, they received landing coordinates for the Nevada base where their journey had begun. General Harris was waiting when they landed, along with a team of scientists and military personnel. You have some explaining to do, Captain, Harris said, though his relief at seeing Ethan alive was obvious. The world's been in an uproar since you disappeared. And now we're picking up unknown vessels at the edge of our solar system. We don't have much time, General, Ethan replied. The Galactic Council has voted to place Earth under quarantine, but it's actually a death sentence. In the base's main conference room, Ethan and Amanda presented their evidence to leaders from around the world, connected via secure video. They explained the Accioni's real plan and the true purpose of the containment shield. Based on the technical data, Amanda said, they'll begin deploying the shield in less than 20 days. Once it's complete, we'll be trapped inside, and they'll be able to manipulate our environment from outside. Can we stop it? Asked the president. Maybe, Ethan said. Dr. Jackson, please explain your theory. Dr. Peter Jackson, Earth's leading quantum physicist, stood up. He was a quiet man with intense eyes who had been studying the alien data for hours. The containment shield works by creating a quantum field that prevents certain types of matter and energy from passing through, he explained. But there's a weakness. If we can generate a counter-resonance field at precisely the right frequency, we might be able to disrupt it. Can we build such a device in time? General Harris asked. Not with our current technology, Dr. Jackson admitted. But he was interrupted by an alert from the base's perimeter security. 3 ships had entered Earth's atmosphere without authorization and were heading directly toward the base. They found us, Amanda said, her face pale. Everyone tensed, expecting an attack. Instead, the ships landed peacefully outside the base. When the doors opened, Viridians emerged, along with representatives from other alien species, survivors from the Rebel Alliance. Ethan explained, relief in his voice. They're here to help. Talora led the group. She had escaped the destruction of the Rebel ship in a second pod. We bring technology and knowledge, she announced. We cannot stop the Council fleet alone, but together with humans, we might succeed. Over the next days, Earth's nations united as never before. The alien allies shared their advanced technology, working side by side with human scientists. Global defense forces prepared for the coming conflict, setting aside old rivalries. Dr. Jackson, working with Viridian scientists, made breakthrough after breakthrough on the counter-resonance device. "It's working," he announced one night, his face tired but triumphant. "The prototype is stable." Just as hope was growing, the long-range sensors detected a massive fleet entering the solar system. "The Council forces are here," Ethan said grimly, "and there are more ships than we expected." The Council fleet filled the sky above Earth like artificial stars. Over 300 ships of various sizes formed a pattern around the planet, preparing to deploy the containment shield. In orbit, Earth's combined space forces waited. Every nation had contributed ships, from small fighters to the largest space carriers. They were joined by the vessels of their alien allies, though they were few compared to the Council armada. "They're starting to deploy the shield generators," reported a technician at the Nevada Command Center. Ethan stood before the main screen, now wearing the uniform of the newly formed Earth Defense Command. Amanda and Dr. Jackson stood beside him, along with Talora and other alien allies. "All ships, hold position," Ethan ordered over the communication system. "Wait for the shield to start forming before engaging." The plan was risky. Dr. Jackson's counter-resonance device needed the shield to partially form before it could disrupt it. But if they waited too long, the shield would be too strong to break. "Shield energy building," the technician announced. 10%, 20%. "Get ready," Ethan told the fleet commanders. On the main viewer, they could see the faint shimmer of energy beginning to surround Earth as the shield took shape. 40%, 50%. "Now," Ethan ordered. Earth ships moved forward, engaging the Council vessels. Space lit up with weapons fire. Some Council ships broke formation to counterattack, but most maintained position, continuing the shield deployment. 65%, the technician called out. "We're running out of time." Dr. Jackson monitored his instruments. "The device is ready, but we need to get closer to the main generator ship." "I'll take it," Ethan said immediately. "Not alone," Amanda replied. "I'm coming too." They boarded a small, fast ship specially modified by the Viridian engineers. It carried the counter-resonance device in its core. Talora joined them as pilot. "The main generator is the large ship at the North Pole position," she said as they launched. Their ship darted through the battle, avoiding fire from both sides. Council ships noticed them and changed course to intercept. "They know what we're trying to do," Amanda said. Several Earth fighters moved to protect them, drawing away the Council ships. But one massive Accioni vessel stayed on their tail. "It's Nexer's command ship," Talora warned. Weapons fire rocked their small craft. Systems sparked and failed. "Engine damage," Talora reported. "We can still make it to the generator, but we won't be able to escape afterward." "Keep going," Ethan said grimly. They reached the massive generator ship. Dr. Jackson activated the counter-resonance device, which hummed with increasing power. "Shield at 85%, Amanda said, monitoring the data. "Almost fully formed." The device reached full power. A pulse of energy shot out from their ship, striking the shield where it was forming. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the shield began to shimmer strangely. Ripples of energy flowed through it, growing larger. The shield pattern began to collapse. But something unexpected happened. Instead of simply falling apart, the shield energy reversed direction, flowing back toward the Council ships. Their systems, designed to project the shield outward, couldn't handle the reversal. One by one, Council ships lost power as their systems overloaded. The containment technology they had used to imprison other species was now trapping them instead. "It worked," Dr. Jackson exclaimed. "Better than I expected. The reversal is temporarily disabling their technology." Nexer's ship, still functioning, moved in to attack them directly. But Earth vessels converged on it from all sides, overwhelming its defenses. The battle ended quickly after that. Without working weapons or engines, the Council fleet was defenseless. Many surrendered. Others managed to retreat, jumping away to safety with damaged ships. 3 days later, Ethan stood before a gathering of Earth leaders and their new alien allies. The victory was significant, but he knew the war had just begun. The Accioni won't forget this defeat, he told them. And the Council still stands. But today we shown the galaxy that humanity won't be quietly contained or eliminated. Talora stepped forward. Many species will have seen what happened here. The myth of Accioni invincibility is broken. Others will join us now. Amanda brought up a display showing star systems throughout the galaxy. These are planets with species under Council control or containment. With our allies, we can help free them. The Galactic Council made a fatal mistake when they tried to cage humanity, Ethan said, looking at the galactic map. Now we'll show them just how big a mistake it was. Around the table, humans and aliens nodded in agreement. The Galactic Liberation Front was born, and the universe would never be the same again.